Welcome back, weebs and gamers. This is AG here, back with another deck profile. Today I have the sort of new build of Hololive. The deck has gone through many changes, mainly because of the ban list, but people have also been trying out this new deck, which is the 8 Standby Luna deck, and I do think it has a lot of potential. It's one of those decks that always kind of had potential before from like set 1, but it just so happened that there was just mainly Alice and Overlord were being played at the time, and those decks just like kind of shit on it really bad. So now that those decks have taken a back seat and basically not being played as much anymore, this deck can really shine now because it has a lot of cards that you need to stick on board, like board control, and has a lot of defensive tools. So I actually really like that. It's funny how Hololive went from being this face-melting like amount of burn damage at the end game to an extremely defensive deck. I find that pretty interesting. So yeah, so we'll get right to it here. So this list is pretty standard, I feel. I'm still trying to tweak a few things here and there, but for the most part, I think a lot of the 4-ofs are kind of like mandatory here. So first we have 4 of this Matsuri. So it is a stock bomb, and also has come and play just mill 3 for free. So this is one of those cards that I remember seeing it when it first came out, because it's from the trial decks from the original Hololive. And I remember seeing this card and being like, that seems like a good card. I should probably order some of those. And then I never did. And now it's like $5 each. So I kind of had to bite the bullet on that and just order these at like $5 each. But yeah, I should have gotten these when I had the chance, back when they were probably like $1. But, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, so this card is really good. Just helps you mill through your deck immediately, completely for free. Get like 1/1 polkas in your waiting room to stand by them out. And it's also just a stock bomb, which is pretty helpful actually right now. It allows you to get rid of a lot of stuff that people are playing. So yeah, very good card, and also helps color fix for yellow too, because I think you only play like 8 or so yellow cards, so it does help for that. Next we have 4 of the Neo Drop Search. So if you've been seeing anything about Hololive recently, you should know how extremely good this card is. I would say in like a normal kind of gameplay deck, like I played it in the Kanata Stock Soul deck for a while, and I did kind of feel like in that deck it was kind of just like a normal drop search, but also you just had like free mill too a lot of the time, which is nice for sure, but I didn't feel like that deck could really use it to its full potential. But this deck definitely can. This deck allows you to potentially use it like twice in one turn if you want. If you like trigger a standby and overplay it. And you can also use it in like battle phase to do the same thing. So you can trigger a standby, summon something over top of this Mio, and then trigger the Mio and immediately pay 1, ditch 1, pay out that standby, and search your deck for a Hololive character. So yeah, it's a amazingly good card. And again, just because it does have that free mill too, same thing as Matsuri, just free mill, helps you get your 1/1s in waiting room very fast, so you can stand by them. Preferably like turn 1, that's when you want to stand by. So then next we have 3 of this Toa card. So this card was toyed around with in Overlord when the standby deck first came out as well, because it has basically almost the same card. The Overlord one is like has like a free check top 2 rearrange. I think this one doesn't have that. It's just I think it might give like an extra 500 or something. I forget what the difference is, but yeah, it's basically just on attack give someone 1500 and hand encore till the end of your opponent's next turn, which is very nice because your polkas don't have hand encore. They're basically, because they're a climax combo, so they're like, instead of the traditional 1/1 hand encore cards, it's a climax combo. So having this card allows you to just give that card hand encore. So yeah, pretty nice, and of course just makes it like 1/9k if you have like nothing else to back it up as well. So yeah, very good card. Next we have 2 of this Choco card. So this card is just like a free filter, just to come and play top check if it's a character or an event, add it to hand, ditch 1, which is really nice because sometimes you can get like 1/1 polka stuck in your hand turn 1 and you just want to get them out of your hand. And then also has a pay 1 sack, to check 4 at a Hololive character, so kind of just like a good level 0 that you can just like, if you don't have anything better, you can just like stand by it to board, and then next turn just pay 1, sack it to check 4. Because a lot of effects, you know, if you were to stand by them from waiting room, they wouldn't activate. So this one being able to have that is nice. And also being able to add an event is pretty good because you do play 3 copies of like the anti-burn event in here. So you can do stuff like play the Mio, check top 2. If there's an event in there, you can like mill the other one, stack that one, then play this top check, add the event to hand. So there's like a lot of cool plays you can do with this card. And then we have, I'm just going to do these together, I think, because they kind of serve the same purpose, which is the standby bounce cards. So the Ozki-Gura deck, you always played this Ozki card, because that was the standby that you played. And people were toying around with playing like 1 of this Polka before, but I think in this build, people just kind of figured like, oh, it's probably better to just play like 2 and 2, like basically max 4 copies. Because, like, you don't want 4 Ozkis a lot of the time because, you know, that's just overkill. So you might as well play, like, 2 of the Polka, 2 Ozki. And, yeah, the Polka is just bounce back to your hand, give someone 2k for the turn, and when you play a standby. And then also has the I forget what it's called now, where it's, when you play a Climax, you can pay 1 and look at 4 at a character. So, yeah, very good card. And, yeah, so pretty much your standby level 0 bouncer cards. Nothing too crazy there. And then we have the level 1s, which is literally just 4 of this Polka and 2 of this Ayame. So, so this is just like the Polka Climax combo. So it's just on attack with the standby in play, hers specifically. You can just on attack salvage. It's salvage X equals to however many different named cards in your memory, because that's their theme. That's Gen 4's theme, but or Gen 5's theme, sorry. So where you get different cards in memory. But in this deck, you actually don't play any cards that go to memory. You probably could play like, you know, the Nene level 0 that just like goes to memory for free kind of thing, or the Lamy. You probably could play either of those, realistically speaking. But it's just, you don't really get any benefit off of getting just 1 in memory, because what are you going to be doing? On attack salvage a 1/1 or something? It's like, it's not really that good, right? So you'd rather just not play any of those cards and just salvage 0s. And there's not enough room to get it up to like 2 or 3, where you could salvage like level 3s and stuff. So it's better to just, I think, just play none at all. You really don't need them, and a lot of the level 0s in this deck are probably what you would get most of the time anyway, because you don't want to really search like level 3s. You want to stand by the level 3s, right? You don't want to add them to your hand a lot of the time. So yeah, and then the Iama is just the normal 1/1 with hand encore kind of card. It's kind of just like filler, allowing you to have more 1/1 beaters to stand by. Then we have level 2s, so we have 2 of this Pekora card. So she's kind of like the new front 1500 support, which is really good when you're summoning, when you have 1/1s, because you don't want to summon a level support, because that only gives a 500, whereas this will give them 1500. It does have like a come and play marker effect, but you literally play no other blue cards in this deck other than her. So if you do happen to draw this, it's like basically impossible to play from your hand. So you always just want to ditch it and like try to summon it with standby. And again, you could probably maybe try and fit in like a couple other blue cards here and there, like that Lamy or something else, but yeah, I figured it's kind of just better, because you always want to stand by it anyway, and you don't need the marker effect either. And then next is 2 of this Kanata card. So this card is really cool. I've seen this card played in like other sets before, but I've never really got to play it in any of my sets I've ever played in WEISS. Which is a card that like on attack, or when your opponent attacks, you can pay 1 and like choose this card and one other character you control and like swap positions with them. And yeah, that's really, really helpful with the Luna, because the Luna is impervious to anti-change stuff, but it's not impervious to just normal level 0 bombs. And like, for instance, if you played like a mirror match, you'd have to deal with people playing the Matsuri bomb against you. So, so this allows you to potentially just dodge bombs, which is really helpful. Or if they actually manage to like field something that is a stronger attack than Luna, that's gonna be a strong reach. But you know, if they get up to like 15k or something, you know, you might not be able to defend it properly. So you can just use this and swap positions with it, and you'd rather have the Kanata die than your Luna, right? So yeah, and and it also has like just on attack gives gains 1k times your field. So sometimes it's just like 11k, 12-5 beater. You can just beat over something. So yeah, pretty nice card. I really like this. This is like one of the really cool things that I think this deck has access to, is this Kanata card. And then next we have two of the Hachima counter. I think everyone probably knows what this does. It's the discard 4 cards, or Hololive characters technically, and rest one of your opponent's characters. So, but in this deck, I feel you can actually get this off a lot of the time because you really stick board a lot of the time, and you do kind of just hoard cards in hand. You don't really need to, once you have your board set up at like level 2, you don't really need to play much every turn, so you can kind of just hoard cards for this. And yeah, so which is especially why I like playing 2 for sure. And then we have 3 of the events. This is the only event you play in this deck, which is the Gen 0 event. It is a when one of your characters battles, you can choose one of your characters, and that character gains. You cannot take burn damage from your opponent's auto effects for that battle, and it cannot be reversed. So yeah, really good if you want to give it to like Luna to just like protect it, or if you want to dodge a burn effect, because you don't actually have to use it on the character being attacked. You can just choose one of your other characters. So like if they do field like 2 burners, but they're like on attack, you can just designate your other card so that it basically wastes their burn for that one other lane. Yeah, so really good card, and it's very cheap. It's just a 2/1 counter. So yeah, I love this. This is a really cool addition to the deck too. So now we move on to level 3. So here we have the Luna, the Fabled Luna. So this card, people theorized when set 1 came out that this card was like extremely broken. It's just it didn't have quite the support necessary for it in set 1, because set 1 8 standby was pretty bad. It was like one of the worst Hololive decks you could make probably. So so it kind of went under the radar for a while. Not many people really used it a lot. But now that 8 standby is way better, and the other decks have gotten hits, now it can truly shine to be show how broken it really is. So this card has like 5 effects. It has the typical Luna effect, which is all of her cards have become level 0 when they're on stage. And also I think it's only for the specific higher level ones, like the level 2s and 3s, that your opponent has to front attack them, which is pretty cool, especially since it's like 11-5 base. And then plus supports, it's usually like 14-5 or whatever. And it has, when you reverse your opponent, you can discard a card and burn them for 1. And then it also has the, when attacked, the damage scry effect, so you can look at the top card of your deck and either leave it there or mill it. So that gives you a lot of defensive canceling potential there. And also, it's like a burn, technically a burn 1 is a finisher. It's not, the greatest finisher, but it is a finisher realistically. And yeah, just like a huge wall for them to try to deal with. And because it's level 0, again, like I said, it can't be anti-changed, countered, or bombed, or anything like that. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. You can kind of just like swing blindly with this card and like not care most of the time. Yeah. So that's like the main level 3 that you pretty much always want to stand by if possible. And then next we have 2 of this Miko. She's kind of like the level 3 2k support that you play in this deck. Not quite as good as some past ones, like back in the day when they used to make the memory kick ones. Those ones were really, really good. So this one's not quite as good, but it's still alright. It has just come and play heal if you do happen to play it from your hand, which is nice. And also has like a brainstorm. It's just pay 1, rest 2, salvage brainstorm. So if you're in a pinch and you kind of need it, sure, I guess it's there. But I've never really felt the need to use it most of the time. It's mainly just as like your 2k level 3 back row card and a healer sometimes. And then we have just a bunch of one-ofs. So here is kind of where I haven't quite tested it enough, I feel, which is all the one-ofs here. So there's a bunch of different one-ofs you could play in this deck. I feel like you could play 2 copies of this Luna, 2 copies of this Ayame, 2 copies of this Akatsuki. Most people just play 1 Matsuri, but again, you could honestly play 2 of that as well. So it's just kind of like a thing where like it just depends what you want to play. I feel this Luna is a little inconsistent, but it is kind of broken because it has like 3 soul base and that kind of thing. So yeah, this Luna is like really good but inconsistent. This Ayame is like kind of mid, but it is consistent because it's just you can either check 3, add 1, or just heal 1. This is like your typical if it's in front row, global 15 kind of standby level 3, and also as a kind of offset finisher, and then this is your stock swap. So there's a bunch of different random level 3s you could probably play in this deck. This is kind of just what I decided on for right now. But yeah, need more testing for sure for this all the tech level 3s, but for now that's what I'm going with. And then last is just the Climaxes. So we have the 4 Polka standby and the 4 Akatsuki standby. Or not Akatsuki, Azuki. And that's it, guys. So yeah, this deck is really popping off right now. I'm not sure if it'll be able to hold its own in English for a while, sadly, just because Overlord's like just coming out, and that deck is a very hard matchup for this deck. And of course you still have Alice and Gura and stuff at full power, so yeah, I think in English for now, I'm not sure if this deck is gonna be able to hold its own quite yet. It's still good for sure if you catch people off guard, especially if people don't know what your stuff does. You could definitely catch people off guard with this deck. Yeah, that's it, guys. If you like the deck, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and this is EIJI'S signing out.